Recommendations. Everyone loves a good recommendation. Unless, of course, you're trying to avoid giving someone the power to say they put you on. If you're like me, you occasionally scour YouTube for recommended videos for your preferred type of media, in this case, being manga. There are a ton of those out there from great YouTubers, and I found a lot of good manga from them. I've also seen other YouTubers get manga recommended to them by their viewers, or even other YouTubers, and it would be dope to do that. But, look at the subscriber count. So instead today, I've asked my good old friend ChatGPT to recommend some manga to check out. I'm only checking out the first 10 chapters of each, so what can go wrong, right? My girlfriend is a T-Rex. Yes, you heard me right. No, I did not make that up. That is the real title of the first manga we will be discussing today. My girlfriend is a T-Rex is exactly what it sounds like. Well, not officially in the first 10 chapters, but it's building to a guy having a girlfriend that is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This story follows a college student named Yuma who meets a T-Rex named Cheerio. Of course, this sounds completely absurd, but in this world, dinosaurs evolved to avoid extinction and adapted crucial human characteristics. Humans and dinosaurs now coexist peacefully, so in reality, it's not that wild for the title, My Girlfriend is a T-Rex, to make sense. That being said, as human as they seem, some dinosaurs still retain the primal instincts of their ancestors, and that is especially showcased in Cheerio, who is, let's say, rough around the edges. But that context actually makes her tsundere tendencies make sense, which makes a completely goofy character in theory actually quite realistic. And the male MC, Yuma, seems quite one note to start the manga, but his bright and friendly exterior sometimes gives way to a rougher side, slowly exposing his past as a delinquent. Maybe my standards were just low, but I was impressed by these bits of depth to the characters. Now yes, the premise is still out there and I didn't have the highest expectations, but it's actually quite an endearing manga. I'll probably finish it eventually for the sake of it, because it only has 28 chapters. The chapters are broken into 1 to 2 page mini-stories that tell little episodes of their interactions, and with the chapters only being 8 pages long, it's just the right amount of exposure to make it a wholesome read. However, what was not wholesome was the next manga, Doll's Code. Oh boy, how do I even talk about this one on YouTube? Okay, let me just say what it's about. Doll's Code follows a group of 7 students who were kidnapped and brought to a facility with one mission: to take a series of examinations to decide who among them will be able to return to the outside world. However, these aren't just any regular high school students. Each one of them has committed a crime, and they have had a body part removed from them that relates to the crime they committed. What I just described is only true for 6 of them. The 7th person is actually a manufactured human made up of the body parts that were taken from the other 6, and they must discover which of them is the imposter. Moving on. For me, Doll's Code actually has an interesting premise and sets up an intriguing mystery. Unfortunately though, it goes downhill extremely quickly and becomes hard to discuss on YouTube. Very early on, it goes hard on the subject matters of, let's say, grape, PDF files, and Alabama activity. If you know, you know. Now don't get me wrong, I don't think you can't have dark themes and subject matter in a story, but it has to be done well, and here it just comes off as forced. Then it doesn't even seem to take itself seriously enough, because then it almost immediately flips it and expects us to root for people who did out of pocket things for no real reason. Fortunately, it only has 10 chapters, so I was able to read the whole thing. I'm not sure if it got cancelled, so it sped ran the ending, or if it was always going to be 10 chapters. But either way, the ending was meh as well. Not great from the AI on this one. And if you thought ChatGPT was going to bounce back after that one, think again. Because next up is My Sister, My Writer. This manga depicts a high school student named Yu who dreams of becoming a light novel author. But he sucks. However, his middle school age sister Suzuka, who is amazing at everything and hates him, has secretly been working on her first light novel that wins the same award that Yu has been striving for. This award means that her novel will be getting published, and because it is a stroke of genius, it becomes an instant hit. For random reasons, Suzuka can't actually debut as an author yet, So Yu fills in as the puppet author of the light novel, while Suzuka does the actual writing. Not bad, right? Straightforward enough premise, I'd say. But there's one thing I actually forgot to mention. The light novel that Suzuka has been working on is about a romance between a younger sister and her older brother, which was, just in case you're not following, written by a younger sister who is totally not into her older brother. Yep, as you probably could have guessed, this manga is based on a light novel. Now, as goofy as it is, there are elements of the premise that could actually make for an interesting comedy-based manga. It has its moments, but the sister angle that they're trying to build is just not for me. They start doing some sus Alabama activity in the name of research, and I had to dip 6 chapters in, though truthfully, it's my fault for even getting as far as I did, because the first page was the little sister declaring that she'll become her older brother's wife, so I knew I was in for some tomfoolery. And speaking of tomfoolery, the final manga recommended to me by ChatGPT was Big Order. It was made by the creator of Mirai Nikki, so take from that what you will. And by that, I mean the main girl is, you guessed it, crazy. I'm getting ahead of myself again though. I'll try to keep it simple because the story can get a bit convoluted. Big Order is set in a world where a few people that are called orders are given certain powers. One of these people is Eiji, a high school student that has an extremely strong power, but refuses to use it since he caused a great destruction 10 years before the start of the story. Unfortunately for him, there are people who have plans for him and his power, and his quiet life suddenly comes to an end. Hopefully, that was putting it simply enough. I know you're supposed to leave an impression in the first chapter, but this escalates unbelievably quickly. Forgive me, because my thoughts on this story are quite scattered and random, but that's a reflection of how I felt this manga was. First off, this manga must have inspired JJK, because out of nowhere, the main character is using domain expansion. And there were also stands in this, for the JoJo fans out there. Then, on his first mission, and I mean this very literally when I say this, he got a girl pregnant just from touching her. Yeah, Giga Chat over here. There's also a character whose power is literally plot armor. I'm being serious. Overall, the leap this manga takes in such a short amount of time makes it jarring. I ended up reading 20 chapters because the manga does well to get you on the cliffhanger express, but eventually I realized I just don't actually care all that much. Maybe one day I'll go back for the remaining 30 chapters, but I also just might not. This manga did not have me thanking ChatGPT for the recommendation, but I do want to say thanks for watching, especially since you made it this far. Let me know in the comments, are you going to check out any of these manga, or have you actually read them already? These might not have been the best recommendations by AI, but let me know if you'd want to see a part 2 for some reason. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff, I'd really appreciate it. See ya.